Belal, ratata. Listen to Mum. You'll be late.
Cops! Belal, يلا!
لا بلال! لا بلال! لا بلال! It's alone, you bastard! You've done nothing wrong!
Can of worms, Sarge. The feds were serving a detention warrant. Iraqis. They get the mother and daughter, but the two boys take off. Now, these three blokes give chase. One of the kids escapes, the other one ends up under the bus.
Witnesses?
That's why the major collision guys called us in. Some are saying accident, others reckon the guy deliberately pushed the boy.
The dead boy's name's Belal al-Basri. The guy on the ground there is Officer Peter Chambers. He's the one we need to talk to. The other two don't reckon they saw anything happen.
They're being cooperative. Officer Chambers, Detective Senior Sergeant Wolf, we need you to come with us to make a statement.
Are you serious? It was an accident.
That is yet to be established.
Piss off. You're going to arrest him because a couple of ping-pong players can't see straight.
No one's arresting anybody.
Hey, we're just trying to do our job, mate.
What the hell do you think we're doing?
That's what we want to find out.
I want you to get round to the house. The boy might have doubled back there. And Officer Chambers, you are with me.
Don't say a word till your representation gets there, mate.
Stuff the representation. Boy's dead. My bosses are only going to be interested in covering the collective asses. I'll make a statement.
If that's what you want.
Who are these people? Hey, where have they taken Zara and Selma? Where are the boys?
Your relative?
No, I'm not.
You have to speak to the federal police.
Don't waste my time. We still don't know what they've done with Walid. Weeks now, we know nothing.
Who's Walid?
The boy's father. He's back in detention too, isn't he?
Sorry, mate, I can't tell you.
Oh, nobody can ever tell us anything.
Nothing like a subtle entrance.
The daughter, Selma, answered the door. Starts screaming at us. She's an Iraqi.
So did he push him deliberately?
No, guess that's the big question, man.
Slammed the door in our faces. We had to force our way in.
Tell me about this deportation order.
We were supposed to remove the whole family to the Jenin Road Holding Centre.
And what happened?
That's when the two boys took off out the back. If I thought for a moment that anything like this was going to happen, I would have just let them go.
So there was three of you in pursuit of the boys, you and...
Nunn and Dipadenko, the two guys you met. No way were we going to be able to catch the older boy. Like a rabbit he was. But the younger one, the one who was... he started to fall behind.
But this is Belal, isn't the 14-year-old?
If I'd caught him in the cemetery, we wouldn't be sitting here now. I went over the wall and he'd just stopped, dead. I crashed into the back of him. He fell onto the road and...
Why are they described as undesirable?
I don't know. Oh, come on. You're handed a warrant. You act on it. You're only told what you need to know. You get too much detail, you might take some kind of agenda with you, right?
Yeah, right. That's the question.
You believe him?
Well, he seems genuinely upset. The only other person who had a really clear view of what happened was the bus driver, and he supports Chambers' version.
That's something. You know where we stand on this, don't you?
At the edge of a very long drop.
We can't cut anyone any slack. We need to find the other boy. Mark Silver's going to want an update. He's on his way over, probably to rattle our cage.
Mark Silver?
Yeah, Federal Police Superintendent. He signed off on the deportation order for the Al-Basri family.
The two boys must share a room. One half's Ferraris and muscle cars, the other half's robots and Lego models.
No, girly pictures, I bet.
Nope, Playboy doesn't get a look in.
Although she'd make the cover.
She must be the room next to Mum and Dad.
So where is the dad?
I don't know. Maybe he's done a runner too.
Yeah. A one-armed man. The guy at the gate said he's been missing for... shit.
What?
Duncan's back in the office, isn't he?
Yeah, why?
Freeman.
Duncan, I'm sending you through an image. I need you to check something out for me.
Sure, anything to get me out of this paperwork. Sarge.
Sorry, gotta go. Chambers' boss is in the superintendent's office.
Well, you might want to take this up.
You might like to sort out your statement to ethical standards. Jarvis is back.
Great. Has he put in a complaint?
I don't know, but I'll talk to him when I get the chance.
All right, thanks, Sarge.
Nice to meet
Hi.
you.
Pete Chambers is an exemplary officer. In no way would he deliberately hurt that boy. I hope we can put this to bed quickly.
So do I. Unfortunately, something has come up. I've been looking at the deportation order for the Al-Basri family, undesirable aliens. The father's name, Walid Al-Basri, is not on it.
Well, it's no big mystery. He took off a couple of months ago. We figured he knew that his permanent residency would be turned down, so he decided to go to ground before it did. We'll track him down eventually.
Yeah, I think I can help you there. He's in the morgue.
This is an unsolved on our books. The body was found in the boot of a car, fatally bashed, and the car had been torched. We now believe that the victim was this man, Walid Al-Basri.
Why do you need me on this?
If I'm going to effectively investigate his murder, we need to speak to the Al-Basri family.
Who are currently locked up at Gendon Road, awaiting transfer to a detention centre. Superintendent Silver is denying us access.
I've already said we're happy to take this over.
Why? Was this bloke a terrorist or something?
Well, he was under a watch order.
Which tells us precisely nothing. Why was he under surveillance?
Well, I'm sorry, sir. I can't tell you that.
Superintendent, I'm an assistant commissioner of police, and I don't appreciate being pissed about. Now, you can either give my people the cooperation they're asking for, or I can speak to the commissioner, and you could explain to him why you're impeding a homicide investigation. Are we clear?
Sir?
Good. Over to you, Bernice. Dinner calls.
Thanks, Bill.
Walid Al-Basri was working undercover for the federal police.
No man is completely evil, and no man is completely good. Good and bad is found in all of us, in different measures. We must look for what is good in ourselves and come to know it, so that we can better understand what is bad. Things are known by their opposites, and as the Prophet Muhammad taught us, sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sahbih, when we eliminate what is evil with our hands, this is the highest level of faith.
Walid Al-Basri was spying on him, Sheikh Shams al-Din al-Laythi. He is one of their imams. He preaches at the mosque.
Why did our federal colleagues want Al-Basri to spy on him?
Well, we believe the Imam capitalizes on his popularity to promote extreme views in the Muslim community. Preach incitement to murder. Basically, he has a lethally warped view of Islam.
You gotta say that about all of them.
And we're usually right.
Tell me, how did you get Al-Basri to spy on an imam? Surely that's a big no-no.
Well, he was offered an incentive. permanent residency for him and his family if he agreed to get close to the Imam, give us what we needed.
Which was what?
Enough to deport him. As I said, he's a dangerous man.
So you figure the Imam found out what al-Basri was up to and had him killed?
I put a year's salary on it.
Jennifer, you and Matt get down to the Gendon Road holding centre and speak to the mother and daughter. Find out everything you can about Kasim, who his friends are, where he might have gone. He might be able to help us on the death of the father. Sergeant Nunn will go with you.
How come?
Or consider it a joint operation.
Yeah, whether we like it or not.
Simon, the original investigation, anything that anyone might have missed.
Do the mother and daughter know that the youngest boy has been killed?
We haven't informed them yet.
Double death knock then. It's great, isn't it?
Or perhaps it is. Use it, give them the news, then press them on the whereabouts of the boy, the family's relationship with the Imam.
One thing I can't understand. When al-Basri's body was found in the boot of that car, it was all over the media, trying to find somebody to come forward and identify him. How come you guys missed it?
You said we did.
You mean you knew he'd been murdered all along and you said nothing?
Perhaps you should be asking yourself why the family didn't come forward. They would have seen the press coverage as well. Excuse me.
Where are my brothers, you bastard? Tell me what you've done with them.
Mrs. al-Basri, I'm so sorry to have to tell you, your youngest son, Belal.
Wait here. Duncan, you're back. Hey, listen, we were all really sorry to hear about your fiancé. And nice job on Jarvis. Everyone's been getting a good laugh.
Right, you all get a laugh, I get Coro. They all know I love paperwork.
Now, if you want to change of pace, I've got a walk-in and wants to speak to a homicide detective.
Needs to confess to a murder, does he?
His stylist, probably.
All right, let's have a word to him. Okay, so who did you kill?
Yeah, right. I didn't. But I can give you some information about someone who did. 10 years ago.
What, when you were 7?
8. I'm 18 now.
And you witnessed a murder when you were 8?
Not a murder exactly. A mistake that, led to a murder.
And you suddenly remembered this because?
I got into therapy. I went back to stuff. About when I was a kid.
And what did you remember exactly?
A parcel. A bomb. Outside a front door.
Thank you. Miss al-Basri, how's your mother?
Sedated.
I'm sorry. And I'm sorry, but we do have to ask you some questions.
I will not be answering any questions. Not while he's in the room or any of his kind.
We didn't want to hurt anybody.
Yeah, right. That's why you were smashing down the door and yelling.
Miss al-Basri, Selma, isn't it? Please. I know this is a very difficult time. We really need to find your brother.
Why? So you can hand him over to these pigs?
We're trying to find out who killed your father. Maybe he can help.
If he isn't sent back to detention before he can say anything. You have no idea how these people work.
And just how is that?
Do you know what I was in Iraq? A qualified nurse. We came here for a new life. We're in detention for 2 years. And then suddenly we're granted bridging visas. It looks like things might just work out. At first, my father disappears. And then these animals come to our door saying that we will be sent back. For what? They don't say. What happened to my father?
Selma, can you give us any information about his disappearance?
No. He just didn't come home one day.
Why didn't you go to the police?
Sure. Stick your head out, get it chopped off.
What about your brother, Kasim? Maybe he can help us.
It's pronounced Qasim.
I'm sorry. Kasim. We need to talk to him. We're the ones looking after your father's death now. Maybe your brother can help.
Perhaps.
Can you tell us where to find Qasim?
But not until I can tell my mother I've seen Bilal's body.
No bloody way. If you've got information, tell us, otherwise things are just gonna get worse.
What could be worse than this? You think we have no rights? My father and brother are dead. My mother needs my strength. Mine. I say nothing unless I see Belal.
We don't make deals.
You don't. But maybe we will.
Freeman, what about him?
I was hoping to discuss the matter.
It's nothing to discuss. Young bloke's going for a full row.
There are extenuating circumstances to this so-called assault.
Soak? Come here. So-called? Look at this. Does this look so-called? I mean, look at me. I look like a bloody clown. And I'll tell you something else. He wouldn't have got even close if he hadn't blindsided me.
He was distraught. His fiancée had just been killed in your operation.
That operation was run by the book wolf.
Look, Terry, I know Freeman deserves to be reprimanded, and you are certainly owed an apology.
That's very big of you.
But I was hoping that we could keep ethical standards out of the mix.
Too late. I signed the statement yesterday. Freeman's fiancée wasn't the only one killed in that operation. Jumbo Watson's lying in the morgue too. A copper. A good copper. Mate of mine. I don't see you crying about that.
Duncan. Just spoken to Terry Jarvis. He's already submitted a statement to ethical standards. Let's just wait for the dust to settle. You're not out of a job just yet.
Well, while I'm still in one, Sarge, I had a walk-in yesterday. Weird story, but it checks out. Parcel bomb, 10 years ago, it killed a woman named Doreen Gillard. Her husband is currently serving time in jail for the murder. They live in that block of flats.
Cut to the chase.
Well, Doreen Gillard lived in unit number 1, and my walk-in says that he saw the parcel outside the door of unit number 2.
This was 10 years ago. Why wait 10 years?
Well, long story. The witness was a kid. He was playing on the balcony at the time, and he says that he saw a man in a crash helmet deliver a parcel to unit number 2.
So you think that the bomb was not intended for the Gillard woman?
Which could mean that her husband was innocent. I mean, I reckon it's worth checking it out. I mean, if I was to go out there...
You're on desk work, Duncan, and you know it. But I can't tell you where to eat your lunch, can I?
He wouldn't have suffered much. It was very quick.
I don't want him here. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. My father would be happy. He looks so pure, sinless. Is my father here? I want to see him.
I wouldn't recommend it, Miss El Basri.
I need to see him.
This is unpleasant. His body was extensively burnt.
Please.
So you talk to us now, huh?
Burning him. It wasn't just an attack on his body. It was on his soul. Something so mutilated. It's past.
Who?
You. Immigration. Who knows?
I'll tell you who. Your precious bloody Imam.
That's a lie. No Muslim would do this to another Muslim. The Imam is a good man.
Miss Al-Basri, I'm Judith Welling. You may not have heard of me, but I'm a lawyer. I deal with
out of
cases
here.
like
This woman is in custody.
I can represent you. All you need to do is say you want representation. That's all you need to do.
Get out of here.
Ask me to represent you, Miss Al-Basri. I can help you and your family.
I want her to represent me.
Good. I accept.
Who put you up to this?
I don't think that really matters now, does it? Look, let's be very clear on this. Neither you nor any other police officer, state or federal, may now speak to my client without my being present.
Come on.
Or where are you taking her?
Ignore her and come
She
on.
can't, neither can you. If you don't tell me where you're taking her, I'll make an official complaint, and that's just for starters.
We're taking her to Homicide.
Thank you. I'll see you there.
Turn the bloody sound up.
That would be a breach of privilege.
Judith Welling. How'd she get involved?
She ambushed us. Somebody tipped her off to where we'd be.
Well, maybe you should register a complaint.
Oh, yeah. That'll make all the bloody difference.
Not a happy chappy. I think it's about to hit the fan.
You might be right. Better bring the superintendent up to speed. Hello, Miss Welling.
Senior Sergeant Wolf.
What can I do for you?
Miss Al-Basri is prepared to give you some useful information.
I'm sure my office
She does, however, want some assurances first. A deal, if you like. Quid pro quo.
Permanent residency?
Mm-hmm. Guaranteed. For her and what's left of her family.
That's blackmail.
Well, they've had good teachers.
Well, you're not suggesting we go along with this.
My client has a chance at securing the future she wants. She's not going to move on this.
No, I'm sorry. The federal police are not going to be held to ransom. It's Sheikh Al-Laythi you should be talking to. If anyone knows who murdered Al-Basri, it's that bastard.
Perhaps I should go with him.
That would be a very good idea.
Mr. Al-Basri, Walid Al-Basri. I remember him. A pious man, I believe. But not, perhaps, strict enough with his children.
You mean his daughter?
I mean his children. Both boys, too, would have benefited from a firmer hand.
You use the past tense.
Yes. Mr. Al-Basri has not attended the mosque for some time. I assumed he has moved on. More tea?
No.
But please, your glass is empty. And the sweets, you haven't touched them.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmah. My assistants, Mr. Murad Abu Eid and Mr. Muhammad Rahim.
What has become of the Al-Basri family?
That depends which of the family you're talking about. The mother and daughter are currently being held at the Jendon Road holding facility awaiting transfer and deportation.
And for what reason? What have they done?
That's our business. We're here about Walid Al-Basri. He's been murdered, bashed and burnt beyond recognition.
And you think someone here had something to do with that?
Well, you tell me.
Mutilating a dead body is a grave sin, sir. It is unlikely you'll find you a murderer here. As I have already explained, we know nothing of Walid's disappearance. The family's detainment we come to know about only because of the death of the boy.
We're looking for the other boy, Qasim. He's disappeared and we're concerned.
We know nothing about that.
But you do know him?
We mentored him for a while. His father wasn't happy. He said they could deal with their own problems. So we stopped meeting with the boy.
And when was this?
About 9 months ago.
Bloody snow job. Bugger's all peace and light with us, but he's out there spreading poison, believe me. May have lost our shot at nailing him for that, but if we can kill him for the murder, we can still get rid of him.
Yeah, whatever, but we're never going to get to the bottom of the murder unless we accept the deal from the girl.
Renee Edwards, Detective Freeman, Homicide. I need to ask you some questions about something that happened in the apartment next door to you 10 years ago.
Oh, you mean the bomb?
You knew the people who lived there at the time? Clive and Doreen Gillard?
Sure. Everyone liked Doreen. Apart from her husband, I suppose.
They didn't get on?
Always fighting. She'd made a bad choice there. Clive had been in jail before. Now he's inside for killing her.
Was Doreen the type of person to say, to take mail in for a neighbour when they went away?
Oh, yeah. She'd do anything for anyone, Doreen. Why all the questions after so long?
New evidence. A witness remembers the parcel containing the bomb being delivered to your apartment, not next door.
What? To me? Why would anyone want to leave it?
Anything, Renee, no matter how far-fetched it sounds.
I was pregnant. I had 2 boyfriends at the time. I thought the baby was Tim's, but Nathan, he'd just become my ex. He insisted Jess was his. He got very aggro and made some stupid threats, but it all went away. We didn't hear from him again.
They've agreed.
Permanent residency signed and witnessed for yourself, for Qasim, and for your mother.
They can't back out.
Well, they do, and they'll be held to pay.
It's conditional, of course, on you telling us where we can find your brother.
Is that all? You better hope that your brother can help us finger shake our lathy with your father's death. Because that's the only way you'll bloody well hang on to those visas.
Miss Al-Basri's father did what he was asked. He spied for you people, and it probably cost him his life. His family deserve what he was promised.
That's what Miss Welling negotiated with your boss. You've got a problem with that. Take it up with him.
None of them are interested in solving my father's murder. Only in bringing down the Imam.
On the other hand, we are in the business of solving homicides, so I suggest that you speak with Detective Mapplethorpe as agreed.
Where's your brother, Selma?
Qasim started staying out late. He said he was working to save money, but he never had any money. It was something else. I knew it was. And I was worried. I thought it could be drugs or something. I followed him one night. He went to the house of Abu Eid. He met with him and Muhammad Rahim.
When was this?
3-4 months ago. I think that is where you find him now.
I knew it. I knew they were lying. They told us they stopped talking to the boy 9 months ago.
I'll go round the back and do the knock. He's more scared of us. Wonder why.
How about that Judith Welling, legend, eh? The lawyer. She doesn't say no to the publicity. Oh, come on, she works pro bono half the time. There's got to be something in it for her. Please.
What are you doing? Let him go! Let's all be friends here, mate. Let him go.
Tell them everything you know, Qasim.
I don't know nothing.
This is Judith Welling. She's a lawyer. She can help us.
Yeah, why should I trust her?
This is our future. We can make a new life. We can work things out with the community.
Yeah, like the community's gonna want us back after what Dad did.
And what did your father do?
Find him. Maybe he'll tell you.
He can't tell us anything. He's dead.
You'll try anything, sis. Just to get what you want.
Tell him.
I'm afraid it's true, Qasim. Your father is dead. He's been murdered.
Sure.
Why did you go to Abu Eid? What's your relationship with him?
He's my friend.
You were teaching him this stuff.
We discussed ayat, verses from the Quran. There is no indoctrination here.
What about all the propaganda we found at your friend's place about non-integration, about bringing true believers back to Sharia?
That's just opinion. You treat opinion like propaganda. It's not. It's an alternative ideology that needs to be understood in its given context.
Why'd you hide him and lie about it? He was a boy. He was afraid. Of course I helped him.
Murad, what did he tell you about your father?
He told me the truth.
He isn't dead. He was taken back into detention.
You believe that?
It's true.
They lied to you. Your father is not in detention. He's in the morgue.
There's only one way he's going to believe you.
It's all my fault. It's all my fault. I kept telling him about Selma, about the religion.
So you were angry with your father?
Yes. About how we were never gonna belong here. He said we would. He told me about what he was doing. About how he'd agreed to find out stuff about the Imam, so we could get our visas.
Did you tell someone about that?
He'd been like a proper father to me. He taught me things, whilst my dad was oppressing his Muslim brother.
Who did you tell, Qasim?
Gentlemen, how might we help?
We'd like to do this as quietly as possible, sir. Mohammed Rahim, you're under arrest for the murder of Walid al-Basri.
Start the camera with us, was mate.
He says he won't talk to me unless you're there.
You comfortable with that?
Yeah.
Thanks, gentlemen.
How are we doing? We're going slowly, sir.
If you did this thing, then you must tell the truth. Muhammad.
He was betraying you and the religion.
How?
Reporting on you to the authorities. Telling them what you preached.
I preached nothing that I'm ashamed of.
Eliminating the evil around us.
When we eliminate what is evil with our hands,
You think they don't see that as inciting hatred?
this is the highest level of faith. I've said only that we must look for good and bad, both within ourselves and around us. Seek to understand it.
You think that's enough? In this country, these times. They are against Islam. We need to defend the religion.
Not this way. I suggest that you, Muhammad, perhaps most of all, need to look inside yourself.
Mr. Rahim, did you murder Walid al-Basri?
We had an argument, not unlike this one, about what I was teaching his son and what his son had told me about him, his secret. And then I got angry, and I hit him. I didn't mean to hit him so hard.
And then what did you do?
I didn't know what to do. So I put his body in the car and I drove it down to a beach. I was gonna leave it there, but, you know, if he was found, a rag, soaked in the tank, a match. I know that it was a sin, but I was afraid. I told myself that they'd never think a Muslim would do this, never. I told his boy and the others that Walid had been taken by the police back to detention. Forgive me, Sheikh. Please forgive me.
You murdered him and mutilated his body. It's Walid's forgiveness you must seek in the next life. Then Allah may forgive you too. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un.
A mess.
A mess. I'll go to the prison. Muhammad will need some comfort. I shall be looking from now on, Sergeant, at the faces around me to make sure that I am properly understood. Hard lessons for all of us.
They tend to be the important ones.
Yes. Yallah. Salam alaikum. Salam alaikum.
He'll get his, eventually.
Mark, off the record, he's not the zealot you are.
Detective Freeman?
Nathan Ellis.
Thanks for coming in, Mr. Ellis. You didn't ask me on the phone what this was about.
No, it's not like I haven't been expecting your call. This is about Doreen Gillard's death, isn't it? Look, I knew it was my baby. Renee's. I'd been shoved out. So I wanted to scare her a little. Make her realise I meant business. The bomb was on a timer, so she'd be at work when it went off. I didn't think Doreen next door.
Mr. Ellis, are you confessing to something?
But I never meant to hurt anybody. Not even Renee or that bloke of hers.
But when Doreen was killed...
Well, what could I do? You know, I felt awful. Figured it'd never get traced back to me, so I kept quiet.
Even when her husband's in jail for a murder he didn't commit?
Yeah, I know. I mean, Clive was always a prick anyway. Okay, he'd been in prison before, and I suppose I convinced myself that he deserved what he got. But it was me. I did it. I killed Doreen Gillard.
We better make this a formal interview then.
Can't believe it just fell into place like that.
Yeah, well, like all things that fall into place, you need to do a fair bit of work to make sure that they land properly. It's good work, Duncan.
Yeah, God does work in mysterious ways. I've left the file on your desk. I think you'll enjoy the bits that I've marked.
Since you worked on the case, we were sure you'd want to know.
This was bloody years ago.
A long time. Long time in jail, too. A serious miscarriage of justice, in fact.
Justice. Clive Gillard? Clive Gillard was, is, and always will be a scumbag.
Well, an innocent scumbag in this case.
You know, I don't think it's going to look very good if you pursue this other matter with Duncan Freeman.
No, he sorts this one out to your detriment. You go after him. It's kind of a bit petty, isn't it? A bit vindictive.
I'll call off ethical standards. But I want an apology from Freeman in front of my crew.
Sounds reasonable.
Then you keep the prick away from me.
Good result. And I'm pleased for Freeman. It's about time something went right for him. Yeah. And the Al-Basris. Hey, did we ever find out who sicked Judith Welling onto us?
No, fortunately, no. Do you want me to pursue it?
Nah, let it go this time. Really a good thing, though, Stanley. A lawyer in the mix.
I couldn't agree more.
Not exactly happy families. Do you think they'll make it?
I don't know. She got what she wanted. Chance, at least. That's the best we can do for them, I suppose.
Yeah, I suppose. You haven't changed, have you? The old moral rectitude. I'll bite you on the bum one day, Stanley.